You can't stop aging, but you can stop yourself from looking old. And style is a key part of that. So what is the right way to dress in your 40s and 50s? So let's take a look at the eternally dapper Bond, played by a 52-year-old Sean Connery on his return to Bond in Never Say Never Again. How does his style stack up against his 32-year-old self when he first played Bond back in Dr. No, and his 41-year-old self in Diamonds Are Forever, the last time he played James Bond in a movie? Hi, I'm Michael, and welcome to my channel for the love of suits. If you're new here, we try to find inspiration on how to dress well from the best dressed men on the screen. Drop a new video every Thursday and shorts throughout the week. So even though it's 12 years since he last played Bond, I think it's obvious that he's actually in much better shape in this movie than he was in Diamonds Are Forever. And with that, let's face some painful facts. Of course, dressing well matters and can improve you no matter how you look, but being fit and healthy offers a solid foundation for your clothing. And how has the 80s changed the clothing look for Bond? Most of his Bond movies were made during the extremely stylish 60s. So we're going to kick off with the tropical classic, the beige suit. This has not only been worn by many Bonds in tropical locations, but also by other spies, including Robert Pattinson in Tenet. But here's quite a surprise, this is not a linen suit. So this is an answer to the question, could you possibly wear wool in a tropical location? Yes, you can. This is a tropical weight wool fabric on this suit. That means not only is it thin and light, but it also has an open weave, leaving it very breathable. This is actually quite a favourite fabric of mine for the heat, and I actually prefer it to linen as it doesn't wrinkle quite so much. Of course, you'll still be hot in hot weather, but this will keep you from sweating too much. But it won't keep you from getting annoyed, because as you walk around, people are going to continuously ask you, are you not boiling in that suit? And you can answer them, no, I'm not. And thankfully, the 80s haven't had too much of an influence on this suit. This is a classic cut, single-breasted nostril lapel suit, with a welted breast pocket and flapped hip pockets. It has 3-button cuffs and double vents at the back. And he's wearing flat-fronted trousers with plain hems, no turn-ups here. Personally, I prefer turn-ups on trousers. They look stylish and they help them drape better. However, in the heat, there's always an argument for less fabric. The shirt is a very light sky blue cotton poplin shirt. It has a spread collar, a front placket, and button-down cocktail cuffs, and a silver and blue striped necktie, and some very nice dark brown mock toe derbies. This is always an excellent choice whether you're living or just visiting a hot climate. You can look stylish while keeping cool. However, I do feel the blue shirt is a little particular, and this always goes best with the plain white shirt. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Or if you're feeling generous, become a member. And check out our comment section. We have a great community there. And another excellent suit in another classic fabric here, flannel. So what is flannel? Flannel in suits is usually wool, although flannel can also be made from cotton. It is a very soft woven fabric, but the soft finish on it is given by a process called napping, where the fabric is brushed softly. This beautiful soft texture is very similar to cashmere. In fact, I often call it the poor man's cashmere. It's a very warm, soft fabric, but unlike cashmere, it's also very light. It's a fabulous suit fabric. You will see many examples of it in movies made in the 50s and 60s. In fact, there's a movie called The Man in the Grey Flannel Suit. And here is me wearing my grey flannel suit. It's a chalk stripe suit, which is an absolute classic and very wearable. But I will tell you one thing about flannel, it's a wonderful soft fabric, but it does wear through very quickly. So if you're buying a suit, definitely recommend 2 pairs of trousers for your flannel suit. Because of its striking visual texture, it gives off a very nice feel. Again, the costume designer has made an excellent choice going for the classic cut here. No Armani influence on this suit. Notch lapels, flap pockets, classic and timeless, you can't go wrong. Tweed, another excellent classic fabric sported by Bond in this movie. And this is a grey tweed herringbone sports coat. Herringbone and tweed go very well together. In fact, the only herringbone I own at the moment is a tweed overcoat. I know some tweeds have a reputation for being a little bit itchy and scratchy, but most tweeds, especially those from Scotland, are actually very smooth and soft. If I was going to wear a tweed sports coat, I might go with something a little more colourful and exciting than grey. But grey is obviously a very easy to match colour. This sports coat could be worn with almost anything, but Bond is keeping it very low-key with some dark grey flannel pants, a light blue shirt and a navy tie. One of the great advantages of wearing a slightly more colourful tweed sports coat would be the colours that you could match your shirt, your tie and your trousers from. Each tweed jacket is woven from multiple colours that are usually influenced from the countryside around the tweed manufacturer. This means that even in an overall grey or blue sports coat, you may find many other colours like greens, purples and reds that would allow you to match a necktie, pocket square or many other items. People often ask me, is it possible to wear a suit jacket as a sports coat? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It very much depends on the cut and the fabric. And in this case, Bond has decided to wear it as a sports coat as well. This is a bit of a classic look. I think I've seen it before. In fact, I think it was Goldfinger, where he's taken a grey jacket and worn it with some warm brown pants. And a bit of a 60s influence here, the turtleneck underneath. So a flannel jacket is a good choice for wearing both as a suit and as a sports coat. The costume designer here has very sensibly gone for classic cuts in the suits, which means we don't see such a huge difference between the early 60s movies and this movie. Of course, the cut's a little more generous on these ones. Connery has a little more middle-aged spread going on, although he's still in good shape. I did notice, however, the lack of hats in this movie. That is a real shame. If you follow the rules of style, you will hear often that your shirt should be lighter than your jacket. And that is for a very good reason. However, there are actually no rules. Every time you hear the word rule, what it really means is a guideline. And the guidelines are there to help you, particularly when you're not sure what you're doing or you want some help in deciding what to wear, what will and won't look good. I'm not a great lover of rules, and I think everybody should experiment to find their own style. However, these guidelines can help you to stop your style from going off the rails. I frequently wear dark shirts that are the same tone as my suit and even darker than my suit. I know this is breaking the rules, but it's allowed when you have a good eye and you know what you're doing. And the villain in this movie, Max Largo, really needs to read Alan Flusser's Dressing the Man. This look of the black shirt with the white jacket is very tacky, and there are many reasons why. He's intentionally going for a shocking look so everybody will notice him. The problem with that is he has pushed it way too far to get noticed. If you want to wear something daring, it should be subtle and it should be only noticeable close up. Here we have a white jacket on top of a black shirt, and this does not work. In fact, in general, black shirts don't work. I do have a black shirt, but I wear it sparingly and very carefully. To make matters even worse, he has outlined this catastrophe with some black piping on the white jacket. Now, the little touches of the black buttons and the black pocket square may seem like he's playing off the colours he's wearing, which is a good thing. In this case, it just makes everything worse. Maybe he doesn't care because he's a villain and he wants to look bad, but that is the wrong kind of bad. It just screams try hard, and that is not what you want to do. Even if you want to wear something daring, wear a statement piece. It's a good idea to keep everything else as subtle as possible. And of course, it wouldn't be a classic Bond movie if there wasn't a tux in a casino scene. Only in Bond's dinner jacket is there a hint of the 80s, in the low button stance. This means the point of the jacket at which it buttons. It's quite low on this jacket, but still very restrained, nothing as low as the Armani suits in the Richard Gere movie American Gigolo. It's still an excellent tuxedo, very restrained and very well made, thick lapel facing, an understated bow tie, and a white shirt with no pleats but onyx buttons. They are the black buttons on the shirt. But look out, James Bond is in one of his toughest battles yet, fighting a mirror ball that escaped from a local disco. What the hell is she wearing? Definitely in a competition for the worst dress costume of all time in any movie ever. If you can think of a worse one, let me know. And while I like to cover the casual gear in Bond movies, especially Daniel Craig's excellent wardrobe, I don't usually cover the action sequences. What's worth noting here is this is the very first appearance of tactical gear on James Bond in a movie. Connery is wearing an olive green wax jacket, very much in the flavour of Barber. It's a custom-made Blueson style jacket with extra straps and buttons and pockets to make it look military style. So what's your vote here? What do you think? How does Connery look as a man in his 50s playing James Bond? And do you think that this timeless classic wardrobe has helped him look good? Let me know in the comments below as usual.